This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Zak Chelli Jr. for the first time over Zoom. We caught each other at the Ultimate Boxer tournament towards the back end of last year, Zak. But aside from that, since we last spoke, how are you? How are things going?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm looking forward to being out again and hopefully this time for a title.
It's good to hear. Obviously, good to hear that you're kind of looking towards that title scene now. Let's just kind of go back to last year first and foremost. Zak, we spoke in the immediate aftermath of your success at the Boxer tournament. A bit more time to reflect. How would you kind of summarize on your success on that night?
A lot of people were saying to me, "Oh, it was too easy for Zak. It made it very easy. The boxes are crap." But the truth is, I trained hard for it, and that's why it was easy. Because if I didn't train hard, it would have been a tough fight for me. But I trained hard for it, and that's what made it easy.
What do you make of that? Going into that tournament, listen, you was a heavy favourite heading into the tournament, and a lot of, as you said, a lot of people kind of thought it was too easy for you. Do you feel like people take away credit from you with that regards, then, and don't give you enough?
Yeah, I mean, there were two unbeaten boxers. One and especially one of them, the first guy I thought was a surprise. I had literally a couple hours to learn how he boxed and watch his videos. So yeah, I mean, I train hard for it, and I guess people only see the success. They don't see the hard work you take to get to that success.
How did you find the free round format, Zak?
I actually really enjoyed it because it meant I could give everything, and I've got a good engine for 10 rounds. So if I give everything in 3 rounds, as I said before, it was great. I found it really fun.
How did you kind of enjoy the festive period on the back of it? I know that you've juggled your studies previously, but now with kind of Christmas and that, was you able to enjoy it, or was you kind of just getting straight back into the gym, looking towards 2021?
Straight back in gym, looking for 2021, but unfortunately, then lockdown happened, so bring more issues as well, especially boxing being postponed till February. Many people meant to be out in January as well, so yeah, we'll see what's happening now.
Let's obviously head into your plans for this year. We saw Alceste's post earlier announcing you as one of his fighters. We all know you teamed up with him last year, but kind of on the back of that, what has Al set out for you? What has he kind of lined up for you? What does he want to have lined up for you?
Well, we've both spoken and definitely want to go for a title next fight. Trying to see if it's going to be a WBA Intercontinental or IBF European title. One of those, like I mentioned last time, I really want it. Hopefully, late March or early April. We'll see. Maybe in Belarus, maybe England. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely want to go for a title.
It's good to hear. Obviously, you're looking at that title scene now. Are there any, maybe say the Commonwealth or British scene, any fighters that you're considering as a team?
I mean, the British at the moment is vacant. And I heard that, what's his name, Hutchison's going to fight Lennox Clark for it. But Hutchison has never proven himself. And Lennox Clark, come on, he's beyond his age now. Like, it was nearly 30. I think that's the British title is fight. It's pretty easy to fight for the British title now. But unfortunately, because that's with Frank Warren, I don't think any other boxer outside of Frank Warren's stable is going to have a chance to go for the British title.
Is that a belt, Zak? A lot of fighters would love to win the British title, if you're British, that is. Is that a belt that you're not just interested, but you're keen to win at some point in your career? Is it something that you could bypass?
I'd love to fight for it now. I mean, I think I'm elbow two. Like Hutchison and Lennox Clark, they're both. I'm higher ranked than them on BoxRec, so I see why I can't fight for it. But I know, as it's all politics of boxing, and the title's locked up with Frank Warren. So yeah, that's the problem.
What do you make of that fight? We don't have any kind of date for it yet, but we know that Willie and Lennox are due to fight for it.
I don't know. I think it's. Hutchison's never done more than 6 rounds or 4 rounds. I don't know. So I don't know. But Lennox Clark is not really. I don't really rate him, especially his performance with Laurent Richards. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's worthy of a British title fight. It's more like a Southern era title fight. Them two fighting.
I mean, you said yourself there, with BoxRec, you're ranked higher than both of those fighters. With that in mind, would you have any interest in kind of going down the eliminator route for the British title and trying to work your way in like that?
I don't think that's possible. I mean, you go for eliminator, they'll give you like 20 eliminators. As I said, this politics of boxing, the title's with Frank Warren, and he's got it. So unless I sign with him or find on his shows, which will probably rob me again, no point. going for it. So that's why I'm happy to be with LCS there, and hopefully he's going to put me in a nice direction towards an IBF or European. I'll work my way up there and hopefully go for the world title.
Moving forward again, Zak, another name that's kind of been mentioned with regards to you is Louis Edmondson. What do you make of that and Louis' kind of recent comments?
Oh, all I know from Louis Edmondson is that my brother beat him in an amateurs and beat him bad. Now he wants a bit of revenge and he wants to go for me, I guess. But he's mistaken, because I'm a lot better than how my brother was, and as you can see, I'm a pro. So he's never been more than 4 rounds. I mean, if he wants to go for a 10-round fight for a title, I'd do it tomorrow. So yeah, but I don't think he's all talk, just like most people from his stable.
Is it a relatively easy fight to make, in your opinion, then, Zak, or is it not something that you're necessarily considering at this moment in time?
I mean, it should be easy to make, but I don't think the British board would let him fight for a 10-round fight. So they wouldn't, because he's not proven himself with anyone else. So yeah.
Just moving forward again, Zak, another name which somebody you've actually shared the ring with previously in Jack Cullen. Do you think this could be the year where you do have that rematch? I've spoken to you in the past, I've spoken to Jack in the past, and spoke to Al in the past, and Al's views were there was no need to kind of make an immediate rematch because you could both go down your own routes and let it build over time. And you've gone away, you've won the boxer tournament. Jack went away and got a good win against John Doherty, so it has made it an even bigger rematch now. Is it something which you could see happening soon, or it maybe needs a bit more time to build up? What are your views?
Well, I saw his last interview. He said he's not really looking for it. Me, I'd love to fight him. If the opportunity came, I'd take it straight away, of course, for a title. Even nice on Eddie Hearn show, it'd be great. I'm sure he'll get lots of views. So yeah, if it comes towards me, I'll take it. I want a title, so I'll go for anyone who would offer me a title.
How different a fight would it be this time round, Zak? Because going back to that bout, a lot of people thought you had won it on the night, and a lot of people were surprised by the result in the end.
Yeah.
How would it be different this time around? Do you feel the pressure now, especially when we're seeing criticisms being given of judging and from referees, that you'd need to stop him?
Well, I'm actually watching back the fight. I noticed, even in my mind, during the later rounds, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm winning comfortably. And my eyes swollen up. Let me not risk anything. Let me just win this easy. So that's what I did for the last couple of rounds. Now I know, never leave it to that. I'm going to obviously push myself more, because I had a lot of, you saw me, I was fit during that fight and had a lot more in the tank. I'm going to give it everything and make sure I go for the stoppage, like I believe I could have if I just pushed myself a bit more.
Zak, do you feel the pressure now because you've got the one loss on your record, and then a draw, which, like I say, many people thought you was victorious in? But do you feel the pressure to kind of build up a run of wins to keep your name relevant in the upper echelons of kind of at least a British scene?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've won this box tournament, another 2 wins on my record after that Cullen fight. Hopefully another one in Belarus for another title, keep me more relevant in Europe as well. Yeah, just keep going. I mean, give me anyone. I'm 23 now. I would say I'm fully filled up. I'm training harder than ever. I'm ready for anything.
So I just want to get your thoughts on a couple of the fights before I let you shoot. Canelo Saunders, we're expecting an announcement on that anytime soon for around the beginning of May time. Just your thoughts if that one is rubber stamped and approved.
Oh, I'd look forward to that one. I'd love to see that. Of course, Canelo's going to win. Probably like a round 4 stoppage or round 5. I mean, it's Canelo.
Is there anybody you see defeating Canelo? Anybody who's got that style to overcome him?
I mean, we had Triple G, and a lot of people thought Triple G could do it because Triple G hits hard. But Canelo took some of his punches on the chin as well and still survived them and went through it and gave it back. At the moment, especially with the media on Canelo's team and the promotions and a lot of people behind Canelo, like higher ups, I'm sure they're going to make sure he keeps on winning until he retires.
Another thought I just want to go back on is Caleb Plant's win over Caleb Truexer last weekend. Just your thoughts again, Zak. Just reflect on that for me. A dominant points win, but some may be disappointed. Caleb Plant never really put his foot on the gas to maybe get the stoppage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me myself, I believe I'd love to fight Caleb myself in the future. Hopefully I go down the IBF route. I believe I can beat him. I mean, I've seen he boxes sometimes like it's a sparring session, like especially that last fight. I don't know if he meant to do that or he doesn't really put on the gas that much. But yeah, I believe he should. To prove that it was world level, he should have stopped that opponent.
What weaknesses do you feel you could exploit of Caleb Plantsman, Zak?
He likes to feint a lot, doesn't he? He doesn't finish off the job. He doesn't go on full in, go for attack, and go for the stoppage. I mean, that's what I've seen. So, I mean, a lot of people could take advantages from that.
Zak, we've seen, obviously, Al has also announced 2 other signings in around your weight division, one being John Doherty, the other Shaquille Thompson. Are those 2 names, just to kind of end on, you think could be set up for you to face, if not in the near future, maybe down the line?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd love to fight any of them. I mean, they're big names as well, and I'm sure the public like to see it. John Doherty, I believe I'd beat him. I believe every little evidence of that is how his performance against Jack Cullen and my performance against Jack Cullen. Yeah, that could happen. With Shakan, he's a middleweight, but yeah, that could happen as well. Also, Alcesta has another boxer, with Jermaine Brown. I mean, if he wants to have that one as well, I'd go for it. I'd go for anyone at the moment. I'm just really, like, let's say, desperate for a title. I mean, I've been waiting too long, so yeah.
Do you feel there's a bit of a pent-up frustration within you, Zak, because you're just so eager to get back out? And does it frustrate you as well when you see shows announced and you've unfortunately so far not been announced for one of them? Does it kind of frustrate you to not have something to work towards?
Yeah, because I'm still training every day. So I'm still training. My dad tells me, Zak, you're not training for a fight, you're training for your future. And, but I want to train for a fight. Because when you're training for a fight, you train a lot better, you train a lot harder. When you're just training every day, just thinking of, when's it coming? It gets boring. So once I have that fight, and then the hard start training a lot even harder than I am now. But yeah, so I want a title. I just want something to run my race. And once you have that title, it will bring more fights for you. So because you're gonna have to defend it every 6 months. So I just want a title.
Zak, you just mentioned obviously what your father says to you. I always find it interesting speaking to fighters who are trained by a relative, whether it be a father, an uncle, what have you. In your case, why do you think it is that your father and yourself have a successful working relationship? And does it ever get strange? Would your dad ever say to you, you need to push yourself more when you think maybe you need to ease off, or is it vice versa? What's the working relationship like between the pair of you?
Well, it's been the same since really I've been a kid, so I don't really know any difference. He's been training me since I was in nappies, really. So yeah, never really had any trouble. I mean, I know how to push myself up. Usually my dad tells me anyway, do 10 press ups. I'll end up doing 20. He told me do 100 sit ups. I'll do 200. I always push myself more as well. So it's always good.
Right, Zak, well, we will leave it there now and we will catch up again soon. Hopefully you have a fight date soon.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to thank my sponsor. As you can see, here it is. Steelers Ltd finally got a nice sponsor. Hopefully they're going to see me as well win a title with them by my side.
That's very well put there, Zak. Obviously, it's good to catch up with you. I'll speak to you again soon. Appreciate your time as always, mate. Thank you, Speed to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.